Hello creators! Starting soon, I'm going to include guest speakers on the show. So if you're someone who works in the performing arts or the creative industry and you want to collaborate with me, then please send an email to sleeplesscreativespod@gmail.com. Introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about what it is that you do, and I'll get back to you with more information. Hello creators! It is so crazy to think that we're basically at the end of the year now, and what's even crazier is that I realised in February 2022, the Sleepless Creatives podcast will be celebrating our 1-year anniversary. I honestly cannot believe how fast the time has gone. It still seems like yesterday when I was sat in my room during quarantine and I first had the idea for this show. I'm going to make the last 2 episodes of this year both Christmas themed, I've decided. I know it's technically still November, but honestly, who cares? So in today's episode, you might remember this story from when you were younger. I will be reading a sweet seasonal short story called Babushka. This is a classic and well-known tale from Russia, which I actually remember doing as a nativity whilst I was in primary school. So, take a moment to get cozy and comfortable and drift off. It was the night the dear Christ child came to Bethlehem. In a country far away from him, an old, old woman named Babushka sat in her snug little house by her warm fire. The wind was drifting the snow outside and howling down the chimney, but it only made Babushka's fire burn more brightly. "How glad I am that I may stay indoors," said Babushka, holding her hands out to the bright blaze. But suddenly she heard a loud rap at her door. She opened it, and her candle shone on 3 old men standing outside the door. Their beards were as white as snow, and so long that they reached the ground. Their eyes shone kindly in the light of Babushka's candle, and their arms were full of precious things, boxes of jewels and sweet-smelling oils and ointments. "We have travelled far, Babushka," said they, "and we stopped to tell you of the baby prince born this night in Bethlehem. He comes to rule the world and teach all men to be loving and true. We carry him gifts. Come with us, Babushka." But Babushka looked at the driving snow, and then inside at her cosy room and the crackling fire. "It is too late for me to go with you, good sirs," she said. "The weather is too cold." She went inside again and shut the door, and the old men journeyed to Bethlehem without her. But as Babushka sat by her fire, rocking, she began to think about the little Christ child, for she loved all babies. "Tomorrow I will go find him," she said. "Tomorrow, when it is light, and I will carry him some toys." So when it was morning, Babushka put on her long cloak and took her staff, and filled a basket with the pretty things a baby would like, gold balls and wooden toys, and strings of silver cobwebs, and she set out to find the Christ child. But oh! Babushka had forgotten to ask the 3 old men the road to Bethlehem, and they had travelled so far through the night that she could not overtake them. Up and down the roads she hurried, through woods and fields and towns, saying to whomsoever she met, "I go to find the Christ child. Where does he lie? I bring some pretty toys for his sake." But no one could tell her the way to go, and they all said, "Farther on, Babushka, farther on." So she travelled on, and on and on for years and years, but she never found the little Christ child. They say that old Babushka is travelling still, looking for him. When it comes Christmas Eve and the children are lying fast asleep, Babushka comes softly through the snowy fields and towns, wrapped in her long cloak and carrying her basket on her arm. With her staff, she raps gently at the doors and goes inside and holds her candle close to the little children's faces. "Is he here?" she asks. "Is the little Christ child here?" And then she turns sorrowfully away again, crying, "Farther on, farther on." But before she leaves, she takes a toy from her basket and lays it beside the pillow for a Christmas gift. "For his sake," she says softly, and then hurries on through the years and forever in search of the little Christ child.